So today we are going to be talking about strengths and weaknesses, okay? Because I want to make sure that you guys are properly prepped for these questions, right? So, when you talk about your strengths and weaknesses, right? Typically what you need to understand is they don't even care about your strengths, right? Because the whole interview is hopefully you've already demonstrated what you're good at, what you're strong at. What they really want to know is what are your red flags, right? What are we going to have to watch out for? What would be the reason why you might not be a good fit for this company culture, right? And this is a critical question. If you go into that dang interview and start talking about your weaknesses are, oh, I just, can get distracted, I talk too much, and you start downplaying your like personality, uh do you think that they're going to want to hire you after that? Probably not, right? Okay. So I have a list of, you know, answers kind of pulled up for this. But like what I really want you to understand about weaknesses is the best way to answer this type of question is to have kind of like a teeter totter answer. So, what does that mean? That means that if you say, hey, I tend to really get a lot of my work streams done quickly, right? Then the downside of that is going to be the accuracy, right? But, maybe each work stream could be a bit more accurate. Maybe there's a couple things that could be improved upon in the individual projects, but I get a lot of projects done quickly, right? That's the speed versus accuracy. If I'm more accurate, hey, I'm a really accurate person. And so sometimes, I might not get my work streams done in the quickest way possible, right? If you answer in these type of ways, then what it's going to do is it's kind of like a neutral answer. It doesn't hurt you, and it really doesn't it would do more helping you than hurting you, I'll tell you that. But it doesn't hurt you, and it probably doesn't really help you. It's just a neutral answer, right? It's a neutral answer, and that's what you want when they try and attack your weaknesses. Name a time where you were challenged at your job, and what did you do? Like, oh, well, there was a time where I just didn't understand a certain project, and I struggled on it for maybe an hour or two. I tried to figure it out myself. And, I ended up going back to the person that assigned it and asked some clarifying questions. And they were able to, provide me some more insight that helped me finish the project more efficiently. And, I guess, one of the things about me is I'm definitely going to take initiative and try and learn myself because I'm a person that really wants to understand it. But if it's taking me too long, I'm going to, ask questions and see if I can, push that project further along in a quicker way. Do you see? That's a neutral answer. That's not a bad answer. I didn't make myself or paint myself in a bad light and say, I do everything myself and I don't need help, right? You don't want to come off like that. You want to say, listen, I tried it. I took a stab at it. Didn't work. I didn't understand it. I went to the manager. I try and talk to the manager when it's necessary. I try not to think I know everything, but I talked to them when I needed to, and that's it, right? But these questions, whether it's strengths and weaknesses or name a time you were challenged and what did you do, or these type of questions are in one bucket. This is the let's see how he handles things buckets. This is like the is what is he does he have a big ego bucket? If I don't have any weaknesses. Oh, he's got a big ego, right? That is in one bucket, right? So you really, really need to understand. Do not weed yourself out. Do not do not put a negative picture of yourself in their mind. It's just that simple. So I hope this helped you with your prep, right? Now, I guess I could talk about strengths real quick as well. When you talk about your strengths, highlight what you do good and a story behind it. Always tell a story, whether it's weaknesses or strengths. So I should have probably included this as well. So when you're talking about strengths, right, and you're like, hey, I am someone that really likes to understand the problem, right? And what that does is it helps me create a higher quality product. That's what it does, right? So if I understand why you're assigning me this project, then I'm going to be able to do it at a higher quality level. And it also motivates me to do my best work when I understand the context, right? And it also helps me with future projects because now I know that this project loops into this project in this project. The reason that is a benefit is because I'm going to progressively get better quicker in a shorter span of time because I understand. And that's my biggest strength. And that was kind of a real answer. I stuttered through a little bit, but that's a legitimate answer, right? I enjoy context and I enjoy details. And the benefit of that is I become a better employee. I literally just understand what management wants from me. So then when I give you the first look at the project, there's less comments. It's less work on the management's part, right? But the reason I can give that answer is because I know what management values. I mean, at least at the company I work at, this is what they value from me, right? I understand context. I understand what they want from me. So now that I turn this in, it's less work on them, right? Their time is valuable. They don't want to sit and mark up a page all day. So I know that's what they value, and that's what I lean on, right? And this is critical for you to understand when you're interviewing, to understand what they value, right? You need to make sure that you read up on the company, that you look into people's backgrounds, that you try and figure out what they might value either you would have to do it from the interview because they will actually tell you if you ask, right? What do you want from a candidate? What would you like your ideal candidate to be, right? What would you like them to be skilled at? And they will tell you, and then all you do is fall in line to everything that they say. And this is going to be in a future video. I really want you to understand that. I hope you found some value from this video. If you need help with the interview prep, you can actually schedule a call with me in the description, and we can just kind of go from there. So hope you enjoyed. Thanks for listening, and make sure you stay in scope.